Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description below. This is going to be a very important video just for the fact of time and actual information. Every day, we get an incredible amount of news about Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency space, where things are going to go, how things are evolving, how much money is entering the space. And this video is meant to put a lot of that into perspective, simply because a lot of people keep losing perspective every time that prices drop, every time that things don't look as rosy as they did the day before. You kind of get the general idea. Bitcoin is, at the moment, setting itself up to be the world reserve currency. The current world reserve currency that we have is the United States dollar. And in the next couple of weeks, we could begin to see that shift more in the direction of Bitcoin. When I tell you that we keep getting this news over and over, I found everything. This is what we've heard just in the last 4 weeks. 4 weeks, not 4 years, not 4 months, not 4 decades. That needs to be pointed out because every day, crazier and crazier things keep happening with Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. So here we are. To start things off, this is the last 4 weeks. A company by the name of Interactive Strength, a prominent fitness equipment manufacturer, announced that they were going to be allocating $5 million to acquire Bitcoin. This decision was approved by the company's board of directors. A company by the name of SOS Limited, it was a Chinese firm that is publicly listed, announced their plans to start buying up Bitcoin. They announced that they are going to be buying up $50 million worth of Bitcoin. Before, it was previously nearly just MicroStrategy who announced publicly, and publicly is very important, that they were going to be buying stuff because a lot of these companies, a lot of the larger companies have already been buying for a very long time, but not publicly. There's a really weird misconception in the cryptocurrency space that unless you hear someone say it explicitly in English to you directly at a press conference, it's not a real thing. These mega companies have already been buying up huge amounts of Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP for years. Many of them, as we've heard before, have been doing it since around 2014. These are other companies and other situations that have just happened. You need to understand what 4 weeks. I'm sorry, I'm getting like intense. You need to understand what 4 weeks actually means. It's not a lot of time. The entirety of 2024 was absolutely insane for crypto and Bitcoin adoption, completely off the charts. When we heard that these companies had acquired over 1 million Bitcoin over the course of 10 months, that should have set an alarm off for everyone that they're literally trying to buy as all the Bitcoin so that you and your family don't have any. It's a very, very big thing that you really need to lock into. After that happened, a company called Mara, M-A-R-A, Marathon Digital, announced that they had purchased another $615 million worth of Bitcoin. They purchased 6,474 Bitcoin, and they now have 34,794 BTC. Right. So that also takes Bitcoin. If I'm doing the numbers correctly, I'm pretty sure that I am. It's the decimal places, and then there's the actual third, not a 33rd. Not so. Anyway, that takes away around 100 million people. 100 million. I'm certain that's it. From ever actually being able to own 0.003 Bitcoin. That is if Bitcoin were evenly divided amongst everyone on the planet. Every time these companies buy, understand that essentially they're taking away from you and like the rest of the general public. If you don't have Bitcoin, you will it is impossible for every millionaire and every billionaire to own an entire Bitcoin. It is impossible for every millionaire and every billionaire to own half of a Bitcoin. It is mathematically impossible. It's never, ever going to be a thing, especially as these companies continue to buy massive amounts of Bitcoin daily. Marathon Digital, 34,794 Bitcoin. We got news that the mayor of Vancouver has announced that he wants to create a Bitcoin reserve asset. For those of you who missed it somehow, it appears that either in January, February, or March, we are supposed to hear that the United States is also going to be launching a Bitcoin reserve, where the United States is going to be buying Bitcoin. When that happened, every other country, every other state, every other city began to announce the exact same thing, once again trying to front run the United States before they buy all of it, which they can't because there's not enough. The mayor of Vancouver proposes a Bitcoin reserve just for Vancouver. This isn't for Canada. It's just for Vancouver. A company by the name of MetaPlanet announced that they are planning to raise another $62 million to buy Bitcoin. MetaPlanet became popular around spring 2024 when they announced that they had bought around 15 Bitcoin, and then it was the 35 Bitcoin and another 17 Bitcoin, and they were using like 1 million, 3.5 million. They're now trying to raise $62 million. They said that they have an urgent need to increase their Bitcoin holdings. A company by the name of Rumble, R-U-M-B-L-E, announced that they're going to be putting $20 million into a Bitcoin treasury fund. 4 weeks. The city of Rio de Janeiro is apparently going to be allocating 1% of their treasury reserves into crypto. We heard a number of years ago there were 2 different cities in Brazil, Rio was one of them, where the mayor announced that they were going to begin buying Bitcoin. This was like 2018, 2019. Now they're going to be allocating 1% of the entirety of their treasury into crypto as well. Florida has announced that they're also creating a bill to be able to put money into their to creating a Bitcoin fund as well, a treasury reserve just explicitly for Bitcoin. The last news that we got from this, I believe, is that 1% of the state's pension fund will go into it, and it equates to around, I think, $13 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Is it 1.3? It's over $1 billion. This much I remember. Florida and a bunch of other places are aiming to launch this around January or February. Pennsylvania announced that they're also going to be working on a bill and legislation to create their own Bitcoin strategic reserve called the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Okay, I thought it had a fancier name. No, it doesn't. This is another state. So I told you before, and maybe a couple of other videos, we are now witnessing that the rumors are that other countries are already buying up Bitcoin. I mean, we know that this is true. If you've been here before, if you've Googled anything, countries have been buying and mining Bitcoin for a very long time. What we're witnessing now is that like states and cities within these countries are also announcing that they don't want to get left behind. So they're also buying their own Bitcoin as well. A company in Canada by the name of Jiva, J-I-V-A, I'll say Jiva Technologies, their CEO Lorne Rapkin said that they are going to be allocating $1 million into Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. They said it's a unique opportunity to strengthen our treasury with a resilient and innovative investment. There are rumors now, and we've heard them from Max Kaiser, from Michael Novogratz, Michael Saylor. Oh gosh, what's the other guy's name? Patapia? Okay, and one other person, that apparently a number of countries within the UAE, the United Arab Emirates are apparently buying up Bitcoin. We have heard from these men that they know a lot of the rulers and the people from these cities and these provinces and yada yada, and that they're well underway to try and accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible before the United States is able to do so. The current rumors are Saudi Arabia and Qatar are kind of at the front along with Dubai. These are the rumors that we've heard, but we also know, if you've been paying attention to any of the news, Dubai has been in crypto news for like 4 years. Their legislation is like spot on. There's no waiting. There's no like long Gary Gensler SEC kind of thing. It's like if someone says something, they get the paperwork done. Half a year later, they're moving on. So, yep. On top of that, MicroStrategy acquired another 55,500 Bitcoin until they held 386,700 Bitcoin. Michael Saylor has and has not said, wink, that basically they're trying to also front run the United States as well by holding more Bitcoin than the United States could ever possibly have. If a company has more Bitcoin than the United States could have ever had, and Bitcoin ends up going to $13, $18, $21 million per coin in the next 10 to 15 years, who's richer? It's going to be the company. It's going to be MicroStrategy. So they purchased another 55,500 Bitcoin. One company, in one go, one fell swoop. This is another 150 million people who will never be able to own like small amounts of Bitcoin that aren't like 3,000 Satoshis. This is what people keep forgetting. Every time that these people accumulate Bitcoin, they're taking it off the table. These companies have no interest in selling, ever, especially not MicroStrategy. Okay. Another company by the name of Semler Scientific announced that they have acquired more Bitcoin, and they now have 1,570 BTC. 4 weeks. Another company by the name of Crux Pharmaceuticals said that they are going to be adding $1 billion in Bitcoin for their treasury reserve. 4 weeks. I need to keep saying it because people won't get it otherwise. People are just not going to really understand exactly what's going on. People are going to forget about it. They'll notice it 5 to 10 years later. Why don't I have any Bitcoin? Why don't I have any crypto? That's unfair that they have so much. We've gone over that before. Why do you think they're all buying this freaking asset? What do you think they're trying to do? Where do you think Bitcoin's price is going to be going over the course of the next couple of years? And you have none? You have no Bitcoin in your portfolio. You hear this news every single gosh darn day. And you're buying squirrel coin, cat with hat. Those are your long-term investments for you, your family, your children. Do you understand? This is the last 4 weeks. And this is what's been made public. Public. These people have come out to tell us that this is happening with their companies. Imagine the 900 others who aren't saying a word as they continuously buy up huge amounts as well. 4 weeks. Another company by the name of Genius Group has added another $1.8 million to Bitcoin, their treasury. They now have 172 Bitcoin. After that happened, MicroStrategy announced that they had acquired another 15,400 Bitcoin. They now have 402,100 Bitcoin. After that happened, Texas announced that they are going to be introducing a bill to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I feel like I'm, just going crazy here. And this is all on top of, don't forget, 2025 is when MicroStrategy announced 2024 that they're going to be launching their 42 plan. For those of you who don't know what the 42 plan is, there are only and will ever be 21 million Bitcoin. So they're taking 21 and 21 and smashing it into 42. But the 42 is significant here because of $42 billion, 42 billion that they're going to be raising to buy more Bitcoin. So thus far, we've seen purchases of 100 million, 700 million. We saw like 1.8, 2.2 billion dollars, and like one fell swoop. They're going to be raising $42 billion. $42 billion to buy more Bitcoin. This is all the last 4 weeks. And I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm missing a couple of things as well. So as we go forward into the future together, and everyone is, I hope, paying attention to all these things that are going on, just understand what is about to take place and where all of this is going. So I can only sincerely hope that everyone's been paying attention, that you've been selling things around your house, as I've been telling you for the past 2 years, that you don't need. Don't just sell things that you like using, but if you have frivolous things, extra things, dust all over them, you haven't used them, you haven't touched them, you haven't plugged them in, you haven't turned them on, you didn't even want it. You bought it because it was on sale. You should have, and you should be selling these things to go invest in anything at this point. So yeah, I'm sure we're going to have another one of these at the end of January, so that you can all hear once again how many other companies and cities and states are going to be acquiring Bitcoin as well. I'm still predicting that by the time we get to the middle of 2025, we are probably going to hear 20 to 30 countries are going to be buying Bitcoin. And by the time we somewhere as well, I would assume half of the states within the United States. And keeping in mind, like, normal people are also buying as well. We tend to get like focused on like, oh, look at the ETFs. Yeah, the ETFs are buying, but so are mutual funds, so are hedge funds, so are sovereign funds. For those of you who missed it over the last couple of years, yeah, governments, we know for a fact, are actually buying. You can look at the SEC filings as well. We also know that normal people are buying and small companies are buying, and yeah, so cool. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all got something from it. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.